much will be required of those who are given much. I always, this gospel passage and this is reminds me of the movie Spider-Man. I know to those who are given great responsibility, much is demanded. And my nephew is a big aficionado of Spider-Man, so I've seen all the Spider-Mans multiple times over the years. But it resonates for us in these comic book heroes because it resonates with the human spirit. It's like for those who have been given a lot, we expect a lot. Those who are given a little less, we expect less. I mean, it resonates with our human spirit, our fairness sort of scale, if you would. Like for example, if you're doing some work in the garden, right? Let's say you're moving some soil or from sand. If you have your 10-year-old child with you, don't expect your 10-year-old child to lift as much sand or soil as you do, because they're just 10 years old. They're small. They can't do it all, right? So we have that sort of internal fairness clock that sort of measures at that, and it's true in life too. That's why I suppose that we have higher standards for those who hold higher places in office. In a special way, we regard our politicians. We have high expectations for them, and regardless of what party they're in, we have a certain sense of when they don't hold up to the highest standards, we feel like violated. We feel like you're not doing what we expect, right? And that regardless of the party, we have a certain sense of common shared values of fairness and decency and civility, and so we have that. But it's not just politicians. We have it of everybody, anyone who holds any office, whether you're a judge or a lawyer or a CEO of any company. We all have that sort of high-level expectation. And when that gets violated, we all sort of kind of like, so no, that's not right. I don't know if you saw recently, even in Italy, when I was on vacation, I saw the video on the Coldplay concert. Did you see that? Yeah, we laugh about it, but it's, for those of you who didn't see it, maybe you've been hibernating, but not a bad thing. But it was a Coldplay concert, and the Kiss camera, the video cam that they show at a concert, zooms in on a couple, and they hug one another. Well, they zoomed in on a couple, and it was the CEO and the HR director, and they got caught, and then they realized they're on the video, and oops, yeah, they're both married. Not to each other. And so, of course, this went viral all over the world. And there are those who, say, well, he deserves it. And then there are others who say, well, this happens all the time. Well, we have higher expectations of those who are in authority. We do. And so if you're the CEO and you're the HR director, that's sort of like, no, we're not. But it's not just people in office. It's all of us. We as Christians have a high expectation. The gospel holds a high expectation for all of us. And that's kind of, that we're all, and especially with us who come to church. So we're expected to hold to a higher standard. Why? Because, that's just sort of, if we're going to come to church, then we need to hold the line a little bit more. And so people tend to watch us, and when we fall, then they tend to point the finger very quickly at us. And that's hard to hear, but that's the truth. That's the way it is. And that's what we hear in today's gospel. Jesus is telling them that, you have a high standard. For those who are measured out a lot of gifts, and much is expected of those who are given much. And that's hard to hear, even for the disciples. Like Peter, who's one of the apostles, hears this and sort of pulls Jesus aside. He says, bear in mind, they've left everything to follow Jesus. And he turns around and he says, well, is that parable for us? You can hear him saying, we've left everything, or is it for everybody else? Are you asking us to do? Are you pointing that at us? And Jesus doubles down. He says, yeah, you've been given much. So a lot more is expected of you as disciples, but even more will be given if you do so well. So when we hear this gospel, we're called to really hear this for ourselves. That this is a call to action for us to step it up, because we've been very blessed. And I think that's the starting place. It's very hard to be generous if you're not grateful. So the starting place for us is to be grateful, is to think about what and who are in our lives that we are blessed with. And that's, of course, why we come to the table each Sunday. We call it a Eucharist, a place of thanksgiving, is to remind ourselves, to take time and remind ourselves how well blessed we are. And we are, and we have to pause and really reflect on that. And sometimes when we go away and come back, we realize how blessed we are. I just think it's not just we're blessed with simple things, like we're blessed with health, or our healthcare system. We're blessed with clean water and access to so much fresh food in stores that come, and we never have to ever think about that. And that's not true for every part of the world. We're blessed with an incredible community here. And we have beautiful music and beautiful buildings, and that's not true for every place. We're blessed with good health. We're blessed with family and friends who care about us and love us. And again, not necessarily true in every place. And so what we do, we've got to pause and be thankful for that. And then we can't just settle there and say, oh, thank you, that's great, I feel great, I'm grateful. No, we've got to then be generous with what we have been given. And yes, that's a call to action on our treasure for sure. And Father Jay is going to be asking us to be generous to his cause. And we should be, because we have been blessed with great gifts of financial stability. But it's also more than that. It's about our time and talent too. We're called to how are we forming this community? How do we step up and give back to our community so that the next generation can have more? How do we get involved with our time, with neighbors, with people who maybe are homebound, who are online, who can't come to church? How do we reach out to them and visit them and make sure that they not only know but experience this loving community? Or maybe we need to reach out to a family member who we've been maybe a little bit distant from, who are wounded and need a phone call, who need a shoulder to lean on, or maybe just need a listening ear, somebody who's willing just to listen to their story. My friends, we have been incredibly gifted. We have been given so much. So we have to be mindful and grateful, and then we are called to generosity. Now, I promise you, if we do that, that will lead to the joy of the gospel, which Jesus is always reminding us to call to. But it comes through gratitude, and it comes through generosity. That's the pathway. So today, as we come to the table once more, let's remember that we have been blessed with much, and we will be expected to share that much with others.